Here we go, going live. Going live, going to be talking about my crypto investing strategy, passive income, huge potential. It's not just passive income, but obviously a big portion of my strategy involves passive income. At least passive Tron, I guess I should say. Does that count as passive income? I guess it depends on your view of cryptocurrency in general. Do you see it as an income source or not? All right, we're going to be getting started here in a moment. Going live. As you come in, just say hello. We want to welcome you. Trying to pull it up on my phone so I can see this chat easily. We're on a roll today, getting 2 videos out. Hello, Alpha One. How's it going, Paul? Good evening. Good evening. Got the regulars stepping in. It's good to see all of you. What up? Florida's in the house. Crypto Dread. All good here, Alpha One. You're gonna appreciate this content, Alpha One. As you come in, fellas, please hit that thumbs up icon. Hit that like button. Someone already did. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. JSOG, welcome, welcome. We're going to be talking about a crypto investing strategy, passive income potential. I think that sometimes one of the problems in this space is that people tend to be a little bit short-sighted. I mean, if you think about seeing a return on a crypto investment in 3 weeks, it's almost like it's too long, It's kind of crazy the mindset that some people have, but we're going to get started. Sorry, just bringing up the comments. Wait a minute. Trying to get to my live stream here. Here we go. I want to get to where I can see you all talking. Okay. I don't know why it's not showing my comments right now. I can come up. Oh, there we go. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right. What's good, everybody? What's good? Hope you're having good on this. What's this, a Thursday? Thursday. I got to head out of town this weekend. Don't know what you guys are up to this weekend, but hopefully you're doing something awesome. All right. So a lot of times I think that people just have such a short-term mentality in the crypto space, and I don't think anyone approaches it with some sort of a plan. And I'm going to kind of talk about the plan that I've kind of developed, at least in the dApp space for sure, and probably across cryptocurrency in general. If you come over here to the CoinMarketCap, the thing that, we're ticking up, we're trending up. I don't know. In the back of my mind, I'm starting to think, are we beginning to hit in a little bit of a bull run? Could this be the beginning of a healthy move up? I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know what your thoughts are, because that's what I'm thinking of. What is this huge potential? Cryptocurrency in general is huge potential, period. Let's talk about where do we think this is going? And the reality is, I think that ultimately the market's going up eventually. The question is, when is the eventually? I have a friend of mine who's always, he's always a bear on the economy. Like, he's optimistic long term, he believes in the future, but he's a bear on where the current economy is. And he's been a bear on the economy for, gosh, probably the past 5 or 6 years. He thinks that we're going to have some sort of economic collapse. And I understand his understanding, his foundation is pretty solid. About 3 years ago, remember, I went to him and I said, hey, you've been kind of forecasting an economic collapse for a while, and I kind of agree with a lot of what you're saying. When's it going to happen? And he said something to me, I'll never forget it. He said, you know what? He said, the world has an uncanny way of not ending. And I think that's so true. A lot of times when I see people doing technical analysis, and I get some of the value in technical analysis and indicators. I get the idea that you need something to base decisions off of. What I don't get is when people look at it like it's almost a religion or a Bible. And here's what's fascinating. I've learned something over the years. I've got a lot of different investing experience. And just like a lot of us, I mean, if you've been an adult for more than 10 years and you've always been interested in being able to earn an income, grow an income, and invest in an income, you've looked at a lot of different truths in the building. Hello, truths. You've looked at a lot of different things over that time period. And one of the things that I've of course looked at is trading indicators, on everything from the forex markets to the precious metals markets, a little bit in the commodities markets, and what I've kind of realized is the younger that people are, the more they love technical analysis and all these sort of indicators on charts. The more they want to tend to believe that it works. That's what I've kind of noticed. The older people are, the less that they seem, it's like a trend, the less they seem to focus on these short 30-second, 1 minute, 5 minute trading time periods, and the more they tend to either not follow technical analysis at all, they look at broader time periods like the dailies, weeklies, and longer. And in some cases, what they end up doing is they start going with less indicators. They realize they start moving the clutter out of the way. So that I find that fascinating. So I like to kind of follow the approach as best I can, the approach of I want to be right even when I'm wrong. I want to do something. I try to invest with the mentality of how can I still be right even if I'm wrong. And I think that's one of the things that I find so fascinating about the DApp space is the fact that you can produce passive Tron helps negate somewhat long term if Tron goes down in value or up in value. Now, with that being said, before you start preaching about the first 48 hours, 72 hours, or the first week of some of these Tron dApps, you're absolutely right. Some of these Tron dApps are extraordinarily volatile, especially their token prices are volatile. But if you back out, again, at a longer time frame, and I've just noticed that if we look at what happens once they've been out for a week or two, a lot of stabilizations occurs. Bitcoin to 1 million, isn't that the truth? So what my idea is, I do believe, I am pessimistic on our current US dollar-based fiat economy. I am absolutely convinced that sooner or later it's going to pull back. And I struggle in my own life with my own personal financial decisions. By the way, I'm talking about me personally. You make your own financial decisions, period, end of story. Don't look at my video as sheer entertainment, satire. Go read the description. I say that in the description on purpose. This is not, an educational channel at all. I have it set up as an entertainment channel on purpose. But in my own life, when it comes to my own investing, I struggle, especially in areas of investing in real estate, for example, and rental properties. I struggle. And by the way, I bring all of this past experience, I bring that with me into my investing when I'm looking at the cryptocurrency market. So one of my concepts and one of my challenges in real estate is I truly believe that this current real estate market is going to crack again, and we're going to see a pullback. But I've missed some opportunities in the past couple, 2-3 years because I've been so cautious about moving forward because I'm expecting a pullback. And one of the things I recently told my wife is, you know what? You've got to make a decision, and you've got to try to make a decision that's going to allow you to be right even if you're wrong. So in real estate, what does it look like? It means that you spend the time looking for a good property at a good price, even if the overall market is high. Even if there's a good shot the market's going to pull back, and even if your good buy ends up not being as good of a buy, the fact that you're able to make it at a point in time where the numbers still make sense for it to cash flow well, then the cash flow alone helps negate anything that goes on in the overall price of the property, the value of the real estate. So somewhat this is true in the dApp space. You've got to make a decision that can allow you to be somewhat right, even if you're wrong on your overall concept. And I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you whether the overall cryptocurrency market is going to go up or down tomorrow. I can't tell you next week. I think if you pull back far enough, I do think in the next 5 or 10 years it's going to go up. I think that there are fundamental economic indicators that say that. Let me just say Bitcoin to 1 million and close down the stream. No, seriously though. I think the idea is, do you believe in where this market's going as a whole, and do you believe what it has in front of it? And if you believe that, like I believe in Bitcoin, where it's going as a whole currently, I believe in a lot of these minus XRP. I believe in a lot of these coins minus Bitcoin Cash. I believe there's a lot of fundamental reasons that some of them can do really, really well. But Tron, I'm so glad that I found out about Tron. However, do I know what Tron's going to do in 6 months from now, a year from now? Do I know how they're going to develop? No. However, currently, my plan is to be able to use the passive income. One of the things I like so much about Tron, outside of the fact that there's use case, outside of the fact that technologically it's so far proving itself, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be a problem down the road. Right now, unsub, God bless you, good job. P3D heme. Anyway, but the reality is anything that I don't feel like serves a greater good of the average citizen, I struggle with it. Anything that I think is creating potential problems and not solutions, for like even Bitcoin Cash, I think it creates potential. I don't have a problem with Roger Ver, and I don't have a problem with what he stands for, but I think that he creates more problems than solutions, and I think the way that he goes about solving a problem proves that he's more lucky than smart, in my personal opinion. He was lucky to see something soon enough. He's not smart enough to help figure out how to influence a community to a greater good or find an alternative solution. And I think that he creates more division than unity ultimately, which is why I'm actually not a fan of Bitcoin Cash. But I will tell you that I think Bitcoin Cash does potentially have some merit in some way. I do believe that there's some potential for some merit there. But with that being said, what I'm getting at is, what I like about Tron is that there tends to be a reason. They push BCH hard, kind of like Tron is marketed. Listen, I know marketing, and we could go about that one all day long. I think Tron's marketing is genius, actually. And obviously, I'm very biased. Bro, you're down from 888. What do you mean I'm down from 888? Are you saying that when Ethos Herb company says, bro, you're down from 888? Has every investment you've ever had, Ethos, went up? Has every decision you've ever made went right? What's your point? You're exactly right. The price went way down in 888. However, that's the whole advantage. That's the whole point. So one of the things that I'm looking at doing is I'm looking at, just to kind of give you an example, is I'm looking at each one of these dApps. I've got a few that I like. It doesn't mean that I'll like them for the next year. It just means currently I tend to like what they have available. So let's just take, we've got, I'm just kind of drawing something simple here so you can kind of see an idea. These are not even going to be close to accurate. Well, maybe they will be. So far, there's about 5 or 6, I think it's 6, I counted a minute ago, about 6 different Tron dApps that I like. And what I'm trying to do with each dApp is I want to grow them to a certain point and continue to grow. So right now, for example, that's not even close to accurate, but each one of these squares are specific dApps. And for me, the ones that I tend to like, they're ones that I think will attract more users for a couple of different reasons. It has to be, and that's another thing, by the way, links are in the descriptions to all of these dApps, but let me tell you, it's fine if you're like me and you want to buy on an exchange or whatever. But if you want to check out the dApps, I think it's more interesting to check it out as a player. What I'm saying by that is all of the dApps need to be player centric. They have to be able to attract players. Players have to want to play there. And I think that there's the 2 OGs currently, right? TronBet and 888. I think both of them have done a horrible job on development so far. I know I've just offended some some TronBet fanboys and some 888 fanboys, but I think they've done a horrible job on their development so far. They arguably made more money than any other dApp, and yet for some reason they don't either have the ability to manage the business, or they don't have the ability to hire the dev team to create development, or maybe the development is going to be so extraordinary beyond everything we've ever seen, it's just taking a really long time. I don't know. It kind of reminds me when I hear things that like Tron Live's coming out, or multiplayer poker's coming out. It kind of feels like when you were a kid and you're waiting for the next console game to come out, the next PlayStation, or God forbid, the next Nintendo game. Like you would hear about it and it would take like a year for it to ever come out, 1.5 years to ever come out back then. And that's almost what it feels like when I'm hearing TronBet talk about, player versus player poker. So we'll have to wait and see where it ultimately develops. But you can't take away from the fact that there's players here. There's participation, 6 million in available divs right now. 6 million. So clearly there are people playing here for one reason or another. Either they're believing in the hype, either they were fortunate enough to have first mover advantage and they head on to players. Who knows? They do have a social media aspect to all their games, which I think is something that most don't do a good job. Most of these dApps haven't done a good job. When I say dApps, I'm talking primarily the casinos. Oh, I like this one. So XRP Hodler says the better the dApp looks, the more they take. Oh, I thought he said make. The more they take. That's not true at all, actually. So with that being said, what I find, and if it is true, let me tell you something. House Edge is absolutely does not matter when it comes to attracting players. I find it very fascinating. The House Edge gets brought up oftentimes in my comment section, and I'm telling you right now that I think that happens because a lot of the people in crypto tend to be a little bit technically minded and a little bit analytical minded. And when someone's a little bit analytical minded, they think about things like House Edge. When they think about House Edge, then they're like, oh, I wouldn't want to play there. They make their decisions based off of their own analytics. They make the mistake of assuming the rest of the market does that. If that was the case, slot machines would not be the most profitable thing in casinos because a House Edge on slot machines is huge, huge. In some cases, like 80%. And especially if you go to places like airports, Las Vegas Airport, for example, you should never play a slot machine in a Las Vegas airport, never. But they do because people will play them because they understand marketing. Just go into a high traffic area, i.e. an airport. But with that being said, I think graphics are important, but I think graphics get overrated in a Tron dApp. And I'm going to get on to my strategy here in a minute, but I think graphics are overrated. And I'll give you an example of this. Tron Raider. There's 4 players playing Tron Raider right now. Earlier this morning I was watching it, there was 1. Yes, it's great. Graphically it looks awesome. But mechanically it's just a moon game. At some point you stop playing. And if you're going to, I can see people playing Tron Bets Ring, which is, Tron Bets Moon. Oh, wrong one. I can see them playing Tron Bet Moon. Oh, this is going to start making noise. I forgot. It's a lot more fun to play. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Hopefully you can't. Hopefully, it's a lot more fun to play Moon than it is on here. So, and having the social environment with all these people, because there's a lot more people here, a lot more people playing. I would, even if I like the graphics of Tron Raider, there's no chat here. There's nothing going on socially. And even if there was a chat here, you're going to chat with 5 people. But there is no chat here. They spend the time and money on the graphics. Coming soon sound. Isn't that fascinating? I just noticed that. They made that look like a big deal. Do they think that investing in soundtracks is going to attract players? See, again, this is horrible. I think that's not going to bring players. Who in the world comes here at Tron Raider or any dApp to play for sound? I mean, that's just laughable. It is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, that's why Tron Raider is not personally in my top 6 or 7 favorite casinos. And if it's in yours, that's great. It's not in mine. I'm not trying to sell my little rubies. I'm going to hold on to them. But yeah, it's not mine. I'll show you another one. Let's say, so Crazy Dogs. Crazy Dogs is interesting. I mined it. Got me 175 dogs. Don't know exactly what's going to happen with them. It was brand new. I got in the first couple of hours yesterday. And that's kind of why I got in. And I thought I would just play with it. But what is it? It's literally a dice game made to look like... Oh, so let me get rid of that. It's literally a dice game made to look like dog racing. But it's dice. That's all it is. You choose your percentage of bet based off the dog. This one is 95% chance to win. This one is 75% chance to win. 48%. 38%. 18%. 10%. You can also do bet to lose, etc. And all it is a simulated dog race. So I'll show you. I'll come over here and let's just do a quick race. They got the video that comes on in the whole 9 yards. Bet submitted. Race starts soon. It's cool to look at. It's kind of interesting. Oh, look, our dog is in the lead. Number 4 up there. Is he gonna win? Let's see. Let's get all excited. Oh no, I kind of laugh thinking that somebody sits here and watches this and gets all excited. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Yay, he won. Photo finish. You know what's interesting about this game? I thought 2 things, because I have an advertising brain. I was like, they advertise here, and when they do the photo finish, all you can notice is the advertisement. And then when the race starts, there's a Tron advertisement that advertises. These guys won like $100,000, I think it was, or $1 million, some crazy amount of money from the Tron, or maybe it was dollars, from the Tron Foundation or something. I'm not exactly sure what for, but essentially, this is a dice game. You know, there's a little bit of a social platform here, but it's no one talks. You can see how often they talk here. 3:54 p.m., 1:37, 1:37, 1:30, 10:50 a.m. No one really talks. But here's the thing. When I was playing it, just messing around with it, I literally skipped the video, turned the video off, turn off the sound. Actually, I left the sound on. Speed it up. I don't know if that even matters. And then here's what I would do. Bet submitted. Here we come. Here we come. So now I've just reduced it to a dice game. Oh, I lost. Oh, you know me. You got to double that. 38% odds, man. Let's go. And literally, we just wait. I mean, I don't even watch the stupid race. It's just a simulated race. Why does the race matter? So it's not like real dog racing, right? It's already randomly created. It's just weird. But is it beautiful? Yeah, it's beautiful. Do I think it's going to attract a bunch of players? No, I don't think it's going to attract a bunch of players at all. Personally, I don't think it's going to attract a bunch of players. Is it interesting? I don't know. Kind of, but not really. So I don't necessarily. Oh man, this is my final one. If I win, it'd be nice. I usually go to 320 and stop. Crypto Gangs, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. Bing, bing, bing. I'm out of here. All right. Let me go freeze my dog tokens. Let me go freeze them. Got 18 dogs. I don't know what they're going to be good for. I guess it'll be good for about 20 Tron. I'm definitely counting on this one. This isn't one of my 6, right? So my whole goal is to build each one of these, and I've started tracking my daily dividends. And the whole idea behind the daily dividends. What's up, Zach? What's up? What's up? Joe Flynn, passive income or gambling? Ask that question another way, Joel. Think Tron Crush can make a comeback? Nope, I don't. But my whole idea behind each one of these dApps is to build them up to about 100 Tron per day. That's the first goal. And I've started tracking because some of these dApps pay daily. Poker Tron, for example, pays at the end of a dividend stage. And so my current strategy is to track my earnings, basically daily, what comes in when I actually get paid out. And then at the end of each week, what I'll do is I will calculate what I'm earning for the week. And I'm looking to grow each one of them to average about 100 a day, as long as they appear to continue to be viable. Now for me, this is just me. I'll show you the ones that I'm following. PokerTron, for example, is definitely one of them. Their dividends tend to be pretty good. We'll see where they're going to be at this time. They don't pay till the end of the stage, so it just depends on when they go through the stage. The kid, if he's up here, by the way, he's the one who won that 1.6 million Tron. That's crazy to me. But anyway, they're one of my main go-tos. Dootron is another one. Poker Hero is another one, although I don't like, someone made a good point. I don't know why it shows it like this. I guess this guy got killed. I guess that's what they're showing. This format, but this is another one that I like. The divs have been great on this one. 888 Tron and Tron Bet, which I closed a while ago, and Tron Vegas. Those are my 3 that I like. The divs vary from day to day. The divs over here kind of suck. Tron Vegas divs are in the negative. Someone won big over here earlier. Tron Bet divs, I mean, I wish their token wasn't so expensive, but their divs have been pretty decent. These three have been good. Dootron, I don't know what's going on with Dootron. Yes, I do. They actually have taken down, they're like, you can't play right now. I saw a note this morning in Telegram. I guess it's still down there. They're working on something behind the scenes. You can still play their other game, Shoot, which I don't think Shoot's going to catch on, personally. I mean, I played it a little bit. I don't necessarily think it's going to catch on. There's nothing against it. I just don't think it's unique enough or fun enough, personally. That's just me. And Pokertron. Now, here's the thing. So I'll order these in what I think are my favorites, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, it'll be like this. Now, I also watched Tron Crush. Don't think they're going to make a comeback. Listen, Tron Crush has tried. They had so many opportunities. Every single step they've made has been wrong. Wrong. Cryptotab Browser, love it. I use it all the time, Joel. Every single Tron Crush, every single, they've made misstep after misstep after misstep. The bonuses have sucked. This is about the highest I've seen them all day. I'm kind of curious if they're ever actually going to grow organically. I think that's what they're hoping for. We'll have to see if they actually do grow organically, but it's which is the easiest to win at? None of them, actually. That's like saying, how do you make $1 million investing? Start with 2. So I don't know if this is going to make a comeback. I really don't think it is. I just think they've made way too many missteps, but it's okay. I'll keep an eye on it. Crazy Dogs, don't think it's going anywhere. I'll keep an eye on it. Tron Raider, don't think it's going anywhere, but I'll keep an eye on it. I think Tron Crush isn't going to go anywhere because I think they've just messed up. I think they've lost people's trust. So we'll have to see if they can ever gain it back. 888 and Tron Bet are much better options than Tron Crush all day long, 3 times on Sunday. Dootron is interesting. See, here's the thing. Graphically, it looks pretty good. Is it revolutionary? No, but it's a game that I think people are familiar with. Like, people kind of understand the high-low concept. I think as kids, everybody's kind of goofed around with something like this. So I think that they have I think they have potential. I think that's why even when there's been hype of new projects coming out, the divs for Dootron, up until today, whatever they're doing with the update, I guess I need to go look at Telegram and check it out. But the divs have been just pretty strong and pretty solid and consistent as far as, players. They've had consistent players playing in the whole 9 yards. So, and I think it's because it's straightforward, it's easy, and it's familiar. And the betting strategy is a bit unique. The way they do the percentage bets, right? Where, you can have like a 3 or 4 if you choose higher. You don't get you don't take, 100 Tron to 200 Tron. It'd go up to like 110 Tron, for example. And so the betting is a little bit unique, how you can compound your bets and stuff like that. And Shoot is their other game. Again, it's very similar. Something that's interesting about this, though, I was reading earlier today, the devs don't own any Shoot tokens. And with Shoot, you can play with Tron or Do. And if you play with Do, it basically burns the Do tokens. I thought that was just kind of fascinating. And 20% of all the dividends earned from Shoot goes into the Do dividends. I just thought that was interesting how they're doing that. I don't fully understand why they need another token, but they did, and I don't get to control that. But I like the dividends. Outside of today, the dividends have been pretty good. I think the lowest dividend day that I personally had was about 70 Tron, and I've had 300. Day before yesterday, I had 300 Tron to withdrawals dividends. That's good. That's going to keep me way above my 100 Tron per day. This one over here, what's this? They just announced a winner. I've never ever actually seen it end like this. That's pretty cool. Somebody did 90% of the damage. This person was playing. This is a fun game. This is probably my first or second favorite game to play. It depends on the day. But I'll show you their dividends. I'm already on track. I got these tokens here, frozen, and so they pay out weekly. I'm on track already to get more than 700 Tron for the week. I want some more tokens just because I like how it pays out. But that's already above 100 Tron per day. And then We'll have to see how Pokertron does on the speed of their mining, but I think it may end up averaging 100 Tron, more than 100 Tron per day as well. Let's see. We'll have to see. It depends on when they pay out. That's the problem. This one pays out a little bit erratic. So my first goal is to get to 100 Tron per day. And then what I want to do for each one of these dApps, once I get it to 100 Tron per day, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look, even now, I'm going to look at which one's the weakest. So say, for example, just try to, that's not what I want. Okay, here we go. Let's just say, for example, this one's only getting like 30 Tron a day. And these guys are doing, you know, more than 100. On average, they're averaging more than 100. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these guys and buy tokens over here. And I'm diversified among 6 different platforms. And unless something else comes out extremely revolutionary, this is where I'm staying. And I'm going to take all my Tron, or at least my investment portion. So I also, every day that I make withdrawals, I typically freeze a little bit of Tron as well. That's a whole other thing that I can get into in a moment. But with the dApps, I'm going to forward them all to the one that's the weakest and buy whatever tokens I need to get it to 100 Tron per day, as long as it appears to be a viable platform attracting new clients, new players, new customers. Then once I do that, my ultimate goal is to start doing the same thing and kind of ramp up to 200 Tron per day. And then one day 300 Tron per day, one day 500 Tron per day, maybe one day 1,000 Tron per day. I mean, if you have 6 platforms doing 1,000 Tron per day, I mean that's 6,000 Tron per day. If you can get to that, that's going to end up being, I mean, at today's prices, that's $180 a day just in Tron. Now I'm oversimplifying this a little bit because I also freeze Tron, but there's passive Tron coming in from everywhere. So for example, I see a lot of you chatting, I'll get to that in a minute, but if I look at the chat, I can't stay focused. So for example, I have Tron frozen. I'm also getting the seed tokens. That's just another form of passive Tron. Plus, I'm saving energy when I'm actually playing the dApps. And I do like to play the dApps. So, and I intentionally save aside some of my Tron in another wallet just to play even more. I've got to go. I actually want to play video poker with 50,000 Tron. And I want to save up, eventually, my long-term goal is I want to run a YouTube experience with 1 million Tron, doing a martingale strategy across a couple different platforms. The idea is to try to grow it. Of course, ultimately, I'm going to lose it. But that's actually one of my longer-term goals. That'll take some time. All right, so let's see where we're at. I'm rolling up here, reading questions here for the next few minutes. You know anything about the site? Oscar, I don't know what you're talking about. What site? How about Tron Next? I got 106 Tron right now. Oh yeah, I meant to say that. Tron Next. Oh, so that's a great point. So Zach says he has, what about Tron Next? First of all, I don't know about Tron Next. I'm in it as well, but it's another one of those things that I'm just watching. They're kind of like Tron Crush. I don't see them doing anything revolutionary yet. I'll keep watching them, see what they do. I don't know. I kind of don't like the way some of the things have been run. I don't like how something about the div payout or something they did was kind of weird. Oh, I know what it is. It's hard to, the website for whatever reason doesn't always respond when I try to freeze tokens and withdraw tokens. And so I know they got some minimum tokens to freeze, but it shouldn't matter when I withdraw. So I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I don't know. However, yes, you probably are earning more than 100 Tron right now. And that's one thing that I didn't point out. Every single one of these platforms are going to dilute. Every single one of them is going to get diluted because there's more tokens to mine. So my goal is also to stay on top of dilution. That's another thing. If I can, even if it takes putting in some fiat to help get them up to about 100 Tron, I'm hoping if I can keep putting 4 on 2 or 5 on 1 to grow them, then I can stay ahead of inflation. Hopefully, that's the goal. If there's a rush to market, like everybody rushes in to start playing, I don't know that I can. I mean, in some cases, you might not be able to stay ahead of inflation. But my goal is to try to stay ahead of inflation. Let's see. That's up to you, Kaz. I'm not a fan of trying to rate a Ruby. I mean, there's like 4 people playing it a while ago, personally. Is it worth dumping your money into these dApps to get a decent daily pay? It's highly risky. I mean, it varies a lot. I would not dump, quote unquote, dump any money into anything, any dApp. Hey, well, what's your thoughts on Trontopia when it launches? I think the tiered div structure will do well. Thanks, man. I don't know enough crypto disc golf about the div structure. I looked at a beta link of Trontopia. and it's just a basic dice game, I think they're going to have to come out again. It has to focus on the players. The only good thing about the divs is it creates awareness. That's the best thing about the divs is they create awareness, and some miners are players. So that's the good thing about divs. But I think if they overemphasize the divs and they don't focus enough on the players, I don't think it matters. It's gonna, it's gonna be very volatile. It's gonna have a short-term spike up and a spike down, and the spike down always hurts more than the spike up. So I don't know. I looked at a beta version and it's nothing but a dice game, and it literally reminds me of Tron Crush with a UI, just a little bit of a different color scheme, but very bland, very plain. It doesn't mean they can't launch a new UI. Just what I saw was very unimpressive. How much do you have to put in to make 200 a day, 200 Tron a day? It varies from day to day. M-I-J-K, however you say that. How's Crypto Browser treating you? I love the Crypto Browser. Use it all the time. All the time. There's a link in every description of every video I do for Crypto Browser. I'll show you. I haven't done a withdrawal in a while. I'm just letting it stack up. Just passive Tron. I'm sorry, passive Satoshi, not Tron. Which dApp is the easiest to win? None of them. Do you have any faith in Tron Raider? Not really. August asks, negative divs are good though. Negative divs are good though. I don't know how you mean that, August. I mean, it means that people won. That's a good thing. You don't want them to stay negative, obviously. And we wouldn't see negative divs very much, by the way, if there was a lot of player volume. And if they ever were negative, they would be negative right after dividend payout, but then they would spike right up. The problem is we're in Tron and we're still early to the game. If you see my past couple of videos on my channel, you weren't the target market for those two videos. Most of you are, investors in the space. You like the space, whatever. So most of you aren't the target market for the past two videos. My videos, I'm really trying to focus on people that may want to understand why they would want to play. If they've already liked the idea of playing on an online casino, why they would prefer to start playing on a Tron dApp. That's really kind of the focus of mine. They really got to attract more customers ultimately. Wealth, I got scammed from Tron Deposit. Any thoughts? Yep. I think that this is a scammy ecosystem and you got to be careful. Zach says they're changing the UI though. I think that'll be big. He's talking about Trontopia. Hey, listen, I don't think Trontopia is going to get too many second chances. So hopefully they launch and they launch well. Kaz, I think I already responded to Tron Raider. I remember when Tron Raider had 150 plus players on one game. Now it's 3 to 5. Yeah, exactly. B-Ray. Bitcoin for Life says, hold your ante. Yes, sir. I'm doing it. By the way, Bitcoin for Life, I just told you about the 6 best dApps. Just want to put that out there since I saw the title of one of your videos. 6 best. Zach asked me, do I think that buying into 888 right now is a good idea? I can't tell you what to do. I have an order for 888. In fact, let me see if that has that went through yet. Nope, it has not. I do have an order for 888. I've been around the space a lot, lost a bunch of money. I feel like it's coded to take your money, not by the statistics. MIJK said he's been around the space a lot, lost a bunch of money. I feel like it's coded to take your money, not by the statistics. You might want to research Provably Fair and click on the fairness tab that some of them have, like Tron Vegas has it. You might want to read the white paper. You might want to click on fairness and understand what blockchains are, and then you would realize that that comment is impossible. That's one of the reasons true Tron casinos that are provably fair on the blockchain. I don't necessarily think, like I don't think all of them are properly running smart contracts on the blockchain, which is one of the risks that we take. But if they are, and the ones that are, you can prove it if you're technically enough to understand it. B-Ray says, if any of the Tron casino comes out with a live human dealer roulette casino, that will change the game, period. Yeah, people have strong opinions about that all the time. Just like people say, if Texas Hold'em comes out, it's going to change the game, period. Yeah, I don't think there's any one thing that will ever change the game. I think it's going to be a lot of little changes in the right direction. And I 100% would bet anything there will not be a Tron casino coming out with a live dealer at all in the next 10 years. I could be wrong on that. I reserve to be 100% wrong about 100% of everything 100% of the time. But I feel strongly about that. And the reason I feel strongly about that is, how are they going to come out with a live dealer unless they're somehow pulling that stream from some other platform? But that would make it not a blockchain type casino. I mean, if they have a live dealer, let's not even talk about the fairness issues. But if they have a live dealer and you're just wagering Tron, now we're just wagering Tron. So I don't see the advantage over that versus any other live online casino. For most people, I see the advantage because I'm in crypto and I understand the idea of having a wallet and having to make a deposit, that sort of thing. But you're getting away from the provably fair aspect, so to speak. But even if you do have a live dealer, how are we going to see a live dealer, but I can't even see the live CEO of these Tron dApps? See, that's the part that doesn't make sense. Cosrod said, my feeling is the only people that make real money are those that have many thousands to dump into day one releases. I would argue that many of those people lose, Cos. It is so hard to get out. And I see this argument all the time about how much the whales make, But all you got to do is go to the exchanges and realize there's no liquidity. These whales, sometimes you see the market spike up and down because the guys with, thousands of dollars, it's so difficult for them to get out because there's no liquidity. If you go try to sell like, $1,000 worth of Tron Vegas right now, you're probably going to tank the price. So if you're holding, and there clearly are people holding thousands and thousands of dollars, then how in the world can they get out of it? They can't. So the guys who dump thousands of dollars in early on, I'm not saying that some of them don't get out, but I think it's a lot more difficult to get out than we realize. Zoo Jersey said, won 12,000 Tron on a 2K bet today on Poker Tron. Got a flush on the flop. I was using the martingale strategy you used starting at mid bet. Got lucky. Needed to go higher than 2K max to get the whole thing. Wow, Zoo. Good job. See, that's why I like that martingale strategy. It's absolutely a higher risk gambling strategy, but I like it because it gives me an opportunity to play some bigger bets. Like Zoo, you're probably not going to be playing. He's talking about PokerTron over here, and he's talking about my PokerTron playlist. In there I cover betting strategy. But Zoo, you're obviously not going to be playing 2K bets all the time, but using that strategy, you get the benefit of playing some higher level bets. And then here's the thing, when you start playing the higher level bets, all of a sudden, a 2x, 3x, and a 4x win are even nice wins. So if a 6x bet on 100 ain't no big deal, or even 10 isn't no big deal. But when you get a 6x bet and you got 2, 3, 5, 1,000, 2,000, oh my goodness. How much is this costing you to get this passive income? I don't even know how to answer that, me, Jacob. I mean, I'm ahead on I pulled out everything that I've ever put in, but some of it works, some of it doesn't. Nothing's guaranteed. I'm not telling you this is not real estate. This is not traditional dividend investing. Nobody's investing X, making X guaranteed. I'm just telling you a plan that I'm trying. Good plan. Big Smoke said, good plan. Well, thank you, Big Smoke. Kaz Rod, yeah, I get that short-term gains in gambling can be made, but that's gambling. I'm not talking about gambling, Kaz. I mean, you're missing the point. Oscar says, Tron deposit. What about it, Oscar? Kaz Rod, my question is Tron just a short-term gambling platform? What is next? Kaz, I don't understand your question. You need to go research Tron TRX. Go to places like Tron Spark. Just research. Tron is... Let me show you something. Just because you're relatively new to this space, it sounds like. Tron is worth $2 billion. It is number 11 cryptocurrency by market cap on CoinMarketCap. So it's not a fly-by-night. It's another type of cryptocurrency, another type of blockchain. B-Ray said Tron Next owner scammed over 10 million USD. I don't know anything about that. That's his wallet balance from scamming. Wow. 10 million USD. That's crazy. Glad I'm not in that too deep. No, devs get paid that much. Okay. Alpha 1, yes, to mini dice games. Yeah, I agree. By the way, Wealth, I like your upfront content. You're doing a good job. I'm just on the fence with all the Tron I bought a few weeks ago. Hey, Kaz, no need to make any moves you don't feel comfortable about. Don't let anyone talk to you otherwise. I feel like I could keep Tron like any other community, just buy low, sell high, forget all the risky depths. Absolutely, Kaz, of course you can. It's your game, man. As Bitcoin for Life likes to say on his channel sometimes, you do you. You do you, Kaz. Zach, no Tron Crush. Yeah, I agree. Tron Crush is, yeah. Oh, the Tron Crush is changing their UI. That's what we were talking about earlier, Zach. Gotcha. Well, we'll have to wait and see what they do. Guys, that's my question. Is who's making money then? I do appreciate your comments. Just who is making money? Developers are making money. The casino dApps are making money. They all have a house edge built in. Many of the, supposedly the developers are the largest holders of the actual tokens that are being mined from these dApps, for example. I can't prove that. Like this is a PKT token. I can't prove that. So when people play Kaz, they earn tokens. Like watch, I'll just show you. Let me just make sure here. I don't have any. So I have none here. So if you come over here and you play, let's flop that royal flush right now while I'm talking. Here we go. So when you play, just to show you, I'm getting 1.67 PKT tokens for this 100 Tron wager right here. And it varies different amounts. Now that was actually just a tie. I got my 100 Tron bet back. But if you come over here to the dividends, I got 1.67 PKT. I can freeze that. Except this token gets moved over here. These tokens are allowing me to earn a portion of the entire dividend that's being created by all the other players. In other words, the house edge, the dividends go here. The actual devs own the majority of, or a sizable percentage of, all of the tokens. And then the rest of us get to mine the other percentage. So the devs obviously are earning Tron that way. All right. Bankroll turned out to be a failure. It was just a withdrawal dApp all along. It didn't really fail anything. It's just the people who bought into the hype of Bank Teller was the issue. I saw a video saying, hey, we got to all put in our Tron for 3 days in a row. And I thought, what a moron. I mean, the guy put out that video. I hate to say this, but you should unsubscribe from that fool ASAP. Never watch his videos. Like, either he is literally naive, and I'm an idiot, but either he is, I mean, I'm dumb when it comes to stuff all the time. I make stupid mistakes all the time. But he's literally an idiot, or he is so conniving that he's out to hurt people. And I want to assume that he's just that naive, because I don't want to think that someone could be that mean to hurt people. So he puts out this video, and I guess I was told that was going on in Telegram with Bankroll. Everyone's got to dump their divs in the tip jar. Dump all the divs in a tip jar for 3 days in a row. The very next day, Bank Teller's like, someone sent me a copy of the pinned post, and it was something like, all right, withdraw all of your Tron. Let's hunker down. Luck's going to rise again. Notice he didn't say Bankroll's going to rise again. Luck's going to rise again. And I thought, what? That's a polite way of saying, okay, guys, we're currently leaving. We're done now. What's going to happen with these casinos when it grows bigger? Is it even legal? Do they have any license in the future? There's no age limit. August, that's very fascinating. Actually, in a lot of online casinos, they don't really restrict based on age limits either. That's true with a lot of things online. And it's only been recently, like in the past 5 years, that anything's ever outside of porn. Porn started early, was one of the first ones. But, I mean, age limits have been very rarely restricted in a lot of cases. I mean, in some places, underage people aren't even supposed to play on play casinos. So it's all very interesting. August, here's the bigger question. What's going to happen with these casinos when it grows? Let me ask you, what's going to happen with crypto? Do you not think there's a possibility that most governments can call decentralized cryptocurrencies illegal? Keep in mind, it wasn't too many decades ago in the US, it was illegal to own physical gold. And so it doesn't mean that everybody gave up their gold, although some people did. So I don't know what anything holds for any of this. Could the casinos be illegal? Could cryptocurrencies be illegal? Could them being allowed to earn dividends be considered unregistered security? Absolutely, all that's possible. It's a very risky space. We are so far early on in this space. So early on. which I think it makes it exciting at the same time. Part of me is like, we'll get in before we can't get in, because every time regulation comes along, it's always designed to quote unquote protect us. And maybe that's the intention. But I find that most regulations restrict access for the quote unquote little guy. Hands down, that's my personal belief. And so part of me is like, we'll get in before it gets regulated and we can't get in. And then part of me is like, we'll get in and profit before, you know, before we're not even allowed to be in, period. And then part of me is like, this is so exciting. Regulations one day may be what squelch cryptocurrency. I always think it's fascinating when people are like, we need regulations. And I get it. If you're a cryptocurrency company, you want regulations because you want guidelines. Because without guidelines, any day a government from anywhere can ultimately shut you down. And so I get it, if you're a business, you want guidelines. But as a consumer, you don't want guidelines. The guidelines are never helpful for you. So you would just soon to be left alone. But regulations are going to come sooner or later, and we don't know what they're going to like. Are they going to ultimately be harmful or helpful? We don't know. I say get in now. Personally, that's my decision. Not investment advice for you, but it's also part of the risk. But here's the other thing. If we get in before regulations come out, and regulations do come, and if for any way it is possible for us to remain in this space in spite of the regulations or even in a regulatory environment, if that's possible, the long run return could be massive, massive. What's really going to ultimately happen with cryptocurrency, it can never get fully shut down ever. And it would have to get to a place that the masses no longer believe in the future of any central government for monetary purposes. And then they would adopt Bitcoin in spite of what governments say, because it would be almost a survival method of currency. Very similar to what's going on right now in Venezuela, except imagine that on a worldwide basis. Do I think that's possible? I 100% think that's possible. Or the other alternative is governments could run to something like a Bitcoin or maybe an Ethereum or, God forbid, a Bitcoin Cash. They could potentially run to something like that because the citizens at large, just like the way they ran to gold, the reason federal currencies or central government currencies were pegged to gold ever was because no one had faith in the currency. So I do believe it's possible the next time around that there's a major global economic collapse and the citizenry at large across multiple nations no longer has the faith of any government. I think they're going to look for something to back their currency. I don't necessarily ever see them saying, oh yes, we're going to Bitcoin, but they may look for something to back their currency, and it might not be gold next time. It could be a cryptocurrency, a decentralized cryptocurrency that time. Kaz said, I would say if whales can't make money with little people, just lose gambling and dividends, take 150 days of RI, then why not just HODL? Kaz, the reason is because with 150 days to ROI, first of all, okay, sorry, I read this and I'm like, I don't understand what's being missed here. It's not 100, it's 150. Okay, so let's take a look at, for example, let's say that it takes 150 days to ROI, which is not going to. We practically 300% on the very first payment, but that's rare. So the Tron was the only thing that has done that. But let's just say that it takes 150 days to ROI. The token itself carries a value as well. So after our ROI in 150 days, is Tron going to go up and double in 150 days? Probably not. So remember, it's be right even if you're wrong. When I'm earning that dividend, I can use that dividend to buy more tokens in another dApp. I can use that dividend to freeze and earn passive Tron, which pays you about 4% a year, roughly, I'm told, is what we get in seed tokens just for freezing and voting, which I have a whole video on that alone. So the whole reason not to just HODL is because the return gives you more flexibility. It's be right if you're wrong. If I hold Tron and it goes down in value, that's a 50-50 guess. 50-50, it's going to go down, 50-50, it's going to go up. But if I'm able to accumulate, arguably I should have accumulated a little bit slower across most of these platforms, but if I'm able to now, going forward, if I can accumulate slowly over time, a lot of these platforms I think might be at their bottom right now. I think 888 and TronBet might be at the bottom right now, not in price, I mean in development. If they survive, it has to go up from here. If Pokertron survives, which the thing about Pokertron, video poker has a huge following. People understand it. It's graphically very similar to any other video poker. I think that's why it's practically a success now. But where does it go from here? Well, they add blackjack. That's just going to go up. If they add another game, it's just going to go up. Do we have faith and belief that they can add blackjack? Yes, because blackjack is far more linear than video poker, I believe. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think, and I could be wrong, 100% wrong, 100% of the time, but 100% of everything. That's my right. I get to be wrong. But I think they're practically all at the bottom now. So the idea that I get to earn a dividend in Tron, and I can choose to hodl that dividend if I want in Tron, or I can choose to put it back into something else. But the main reason to use to invest in gambling gaps or the gaming dApps is because I think that they prove a good use case for Tron. I believe that part of Tron's value is related to these dApps coming online and some of them doing very well. So I say be in both. I have a lot of Tron that's frozen right here. I don't mind showing you this. This is frozen Tron that I'm holding. And then I have Tron that I use for mining and playing in these dApps. Okay. You're welcome, Zoo Jersey. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being here. Do you feel Bitcoin might go to 20K or 2K? Honest opinion. B-Ray, welcome to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. I think Bitcoin is going to $1 million one day in today's USD value. I got an entire video playlist on it. Gemini, they could lock us out of the internet. Yeah, they could lock us out of the internet, but that's going to be difficult. And a lot of people say that Bitcoin couldn't work because you need the internet, but you don't need the internet. There's already technologies about using Bitcoin on the blockchain and being able to transfer Bitcoin through shortwave radios, and it's already been done with satellite. So I don't think we have to worry about governments across the world collapsing today. So I think that technology is going to have a while to evolve. So I think there'll become a time where the internet itself will be fully decentralized. Shilling sites, good job. I'm looking for incentive to not hodl. Thus far, this past 3 weeks, I've learned that the space provides an arena to simply lose the TRX time you could have bought and sold later. Cause there's nothing wrong with that. Go hodl, man. I'm not seeing a pro for middle class dudes, but I want to. This is newcomers feeling, but that's not good for future of any coin. Okay, hodl on, man. Hodl on, cause there's nothing wrong with hodling. Well, mining stages are going to be slower and slower on Pokertron. Volume is too low. Yeah, you're right, Cross. But the devs have already said that they will, and I don't mind that, by the way. I'm okay if divs pay out once a month. I think it's easier to make decisions on what to do, and I think it's easier to make wiser decisions when you get the divs slower. But the devs have already said on Pokertron in the mining stages that they are going to, that they are able to adjust when they do the dividend payout, based if they see a need of it. And they said they could adjust it to weekly, which is what RO Vegas does. They could adjust it at any time frame. Right now, they chose to keep it at the stages, and I think the idea behind that was trying to prevent people from trying to dump so quickly on the open market, blah, 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 on the open exchanges, etc. But I don't mind the payout after the mining stage. I don't care that this is slower. Personally, that's my opinion. But the devs can change that at any point in time. Cross, the reason the div pools are dead in do and shoot is because you can't play them right now. They're taken offline. There's some sort of update or something that's going on, so you can't play right now. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And August, because casino dApps are basically a double gamble. Yeah, August is right. It's a double gamble. You're gambling on Tron. You're gambling on the business model of the dApps, and it's just even more risky and potentially more rewarding. Risk comes reward. Hey, Kaz, I appreciate it, man. Kaz says, thanks for your candor, not meaning to spam you. Great content. Just feel like I've bought into an illegal gambling ring, trying to sort it out with peeps I have access to. Listen, there are people out there who think cryptos, they don't know anything about crypto. That's awesome. That's awesome. No, this is an incredible space, and when you tell people that, look, there are people that I know that are really smart with investing. You know, they've been doing their whole lives. They manage client funds, the whole 9 yards. They wouldn't even begin to listen to me if I told them that Tron paid out a 300% ROI on the first mining payout. It cost about one Tron to mine one PKT, and they paid out 3-to-1 on the PKT tokens. They paid a 300% ROI. Nobody would believe that. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It was a 200% ROI. Nobody would believe that. Nobody. Yeah, I did hear about Tron deposit. Yeah. And Cross said, did you hear about Tron deposit? They had the withdrawal feature linked so it drained your wallet if you click the withdraw. DApp space is getting played with scams now. Be wary. You know, anytime I had someone yesterday talking to me about security, crypto security, cryptocurrency security, internet security, that sort of thing. Anytime there's a lot of potential value, especially USD value involved, there's always, Paul, I appreciate the super chat, man. High five, virtual high five. I appreciate you, man. I absolutely appreciate that you take the time to shoot over super chats. $1 here, $1 there. It shows me that you value the content and I bring something to the space. And I appreciate all of you watching. It blows my mind that people even take the time to listen to what I have to say. But I'm thankful for it because there's no one else out there in our personal lives for the most part, that understand this. You know, Kaz was talking about, you know, people he has access to and trying to explain it to him. It's very difficult to explain it to people. I mean, when you even talk about the idea that cryptocurrency could, exactly, Kaz said, I'm excited. I don't have folks at work to talk about it. Tried and failed. Yes, most of us have. Just got to figure out how to actually make money through dApps. Kaz, listen, just getting started in the space is a start. And the dApps are extremely risky. I mean, it's August said it best. She said it's risk on risk. It's actually risk on risk on risk on risk. It's risk because it's cryptocurrency. It's risk because it's an altcoin, a minor cryptocurrency. It's risk because it's a dApp. So you got a risk on the developers developing something that's good, meaning that doesn't have flaws, or they don't either intentional or unintentional flaws. Then you've got the risk that the developers not only can create a good platform or a good game, then you've got the risk that they can carry the business forward in some way. Can they market the business? Can they promote the business? Do they understand what customers want? And then you've got the risk of, you know, are there going to be regulations that are going to, you know, come to play down the road? Regulations don't matter when it's a small space, meaning no one actually cares. But if it gets bigger, is it going to attract regulators? And is the regulations going to be negative? Is it going to hurt us? We really don't know yet. But we're in super early. And typically when you're in something super early, the potential can be high if we can navigate the risk. Absolutely. Kaz, respect back to you, brother. I appreciate it. I've tried my best to answer your questions. And I will admit, I apologize if some of them sound like I get a little bit frustrated. But I have to remind myself that my channel is really about attracting the new to the space. So sometimes on my channel, you know, you explain stuff over and over again, but there's always new listeners. And that's important. Those of you who watch my channel and you're like, why is he explaining what Tron is again? It's because the real focus of my channel is to attract people to this space. That's the real focus of my channel, to help educate people in cryptocurrency in general, not just to Tron, not just to, you know, the dApp space, but in general, cryptocurrencies. Come into this space and understand it and try to wrap our brain around it. And the other thing about my channel is really learning together. I mean, I don't know it all. At all. I'm just a player in this space, but I learn a lot from you all in the comments, the different ones that have reached out to me, that I follow some of your channels. August, just don't believe the hype or get lost in the sauce. That's true, August. Hype is everywhere. Carl said, I've been noticing in your latest videos trying to say it in layman terms, just people interested in online gambling games. Yeah, Cross. My last couple of videos, intentionally, I've tried to target people that may be looking up things on YouTube, for example, about gambling dApps or gambling strategies. So I appreciate you recognizing that. And I don't do that to alienate you all. I do that to help all of us. The more that people understand the importance of cryptocurrency, the more that people understand the importance of blockchain technology, the more that they get involved with it, and just like Kaz, they start to use it, the more they start to see the importance of it, the more their entire brain opens up, like, wow, there's a whole new interesting world out there, and there's a real use case for this stuff. There's other alternatives out there, so to speak. I do like the gambling strategies. Do has been fun. Do has been fun, Kaz. I agree. And that's why I think Do's going to continue to do well, because it's kind of unique, which is what brought me to the channel. Kaz, I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. Man, that's incredible. That's the best compliment I could have gotten. It's I learned the hard way. Crypto platforms and arbitrage. August says crypto blockchain is a paradigm shift for sure. Absolutely. And the use cases and the purposes are extraordinary. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to go look up the video. And if you have small kids, you really should have them look this up on YouTube. It's even on my channel. It's Money as Debt. Let's see if I can pull that up. YouTube, just to show you. Money as Debt. I actually have this on my channel as well. Let me see. Because some of these people put funky stuff. I can't even spell my channel title. Is it going to come up? This chick looks like she's had a bad day. Nope, it didn't come up. Okay, you can, don't look at the one that says to, this is probably the one right here. It's about 45, 46 minutes. This is probably the one. I would encourage you to go watch this. This video does not even talk about Bitcoin. It doesn't talk about cryptocurrency. But however, I will tell you right now that this video explains the greatest use case for a third-party decentralized cryptocurrency. And most people aren't even aware. I mean, this video talks about how our entire financial system is created and is in a very easy animated documentary style format. Every middle schooler in the world should have to watch this. And if you have kids that are in middle school, I would encourage them to watch this. They should watch this. If you're in the cryptocurrency space, you should not be in this space unless you've taken time to watch this video. I've watched it all the way through 3 times. Just because it takes very complicated explanations and it makes them very, very, very simple. Thank you, Big Smoke. Yeah, hit those likes. Hit those likes. Sorry, I'm just going back through before we wrap up. Your YouTube is Crypto Wealth. Okay. Oh, duh. Thank you. How did I do that? Crypto. Don't even know how I did that. Thank you. There we go. Ta-da! Crypto Wealth. I wrote Coastal. I have the Do tokens gathering interest, so that's a gain. Exactly, Ka. See, there you go. That's what's interesting about the dApps. The dApps are interesting more from a player standpoint, in my opinion, than they are from a quote-unquote investing standpoint. There's not an online casino anywhere that can compete with that sort of a comp. That is no Big Smoke. I'm leaving iOS too long. I think the market is way too thin on that one. Because there's not an online casino that can compete with that comp. Every other online casino will give you quote-unquote cash back. That's what you get from most of them. But with these, you get a token, and that token is earning an interest or a dividend from other players. You get to be a part of the house. These dApps are far more interesting from a customer's perspective than they ever are going to be from a quote-unquote investing perspective until they grow much, much more. And I believe in their growth. I believe in the potential use cases. I see that we're on the ground floor. That's why I don't mind quote-unquote investing. And it's also why Tron Vegas, their tokens are pretty cheap, much cheaper than what you earn them when you play. But I've been playing their roulette to get their tokens mainly, and I don't have many tokens. But mainly because I want to add to the ecosystem, more so than just get a good return. I want to add to the ecosystem. And if I win and have fun winning and playing, then that's all the more fun. But they're far more, all of these dApps are far better focused on the player. All right. Paul says, I live for the div. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you being on here. I am out of here. I may be away for the next few days. I've got to travel. It doesn't mean I won't put up a video, but don't expect anything. I will definitely be back next week in full swing, and I'll keep you updated on what we learn, what happens in the crypto space, what I find out. But it's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for hitting that like button. Paul, I appreciate the super chat again. Kaz, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Gemini, you take care. You take care, Kaz. I'll see you all around. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate your interaction. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye for now.